other day I was at Walmart and I love my Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy beef jerky. But it has just become an outrageously priced luxury. It's like $15 or more for a bag. Of course, I get the bigger bag, but still, it's like 10 ounces for $15. I don't know. And I want to see if we can make something similar that we can have at home. Now, as this is a freeze drying channel, we are also going to do something different with this, but we're going to make the savory, tender, nice and chewy one that you can buy at Walmart, I hope. And then we're also gonna, at the end of that, we're going to try and freeze dry some and just see what that comes out like. I was doing some researching, and one guy did some beef jerky, and he calls it for long-term storage, and he's done the videos over the years. You can watch him for 13 years. He's had this batch in the refrigerator, just in a Ziploc bag, and about every 4 years from the day he made it, he made a video showing you what it was like, how it was holding up, and 13 years later it was still good. Now the problem with that is, no, well, he didn't have a freeze dryer, he did it dehydrated. It's a lot drier than your savory snack beef jerky, but I want to try and freeze after we make the savory batch. I want to take some of that and freeze dry it and just see what that tastes like freeze dried. So we'll add that to the end of the video. So I got me a good recipe, I hope, and I went out and bought me a roast. Right now I got the roast in the freezer firming up so we can slice it, and I'm just going to put together this recipe. We're going to make our marinade. So what I have here is a half a cup of Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. We're just going to put that in our bowl. 2 to 4 tablespoons of hot sauce, it says. We'll go with, I don't even know if I'll put 2. That's a lot of hot sauce. I got sriracha sauce. I'm going to start with 1. And we'll see where we go from there. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. 2 tablespoons of liquid smoke. I think I might have 2 tablespoons in here, we'll see. 1. Yep, I had enough. 2 tablespoons of that. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Use my tablespoon. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of this in there. One teaspoon of garlic powder. 1 teaspoon. One teaspoon of onion powder. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. and 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. We're going to put 1 teaspoon of those in there. And 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. All right, that is our marinade sauce put together. Let's get that all mixed up and dissolved, all that sugar dissolved. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. All right, now I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. Put this all away and get my meat slicer out. And I'm gonna let that roast sit in the freezer for about 2 hours, get it nice and firm. So I'll be back in about 2 hours. I'll see you then. All right. So I put this into the freezer for about 2 hours. And this is a choice beef rump roast. And it weighs 2.53 pounds, so 2.5 pounds. And it was on sale for $6.99 a pound, so I spent a total of $17.68, which is a little bit more than what the Sweet Baby Ray's pre-made beef jerky is, but we're going to get a lot more jerky from this. So let's get this open. That's nice and firm. We're going to cut this fat off. And that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. So let's cut this into a manageable size here. Very lean piece, really. All right. I'm going to put this on about 5, I think. You want to get about 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch, somewhere around there. And this just, I'm cutting across the grain. Let's get this sliced up. Where's that? There we go. All right. Gonna wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay. Now, let's get some gloves on. Let's take our marinade. Boy, that smells good. Let's just get in there and get that meat all coated. I'm just taking the time to go through this and make sure every piece of meat gets a good coating of that marinade sauce. All right. What do you think of that? Now put the lid on here. I'm going to do a vacuum marinade on that. All right, the dimple has gone down, tells me it's vacuumed. So we'll stick this in the refrigerator for about 24 hours, maybe a little bit less just for my time constraints, but you want it in there for about 8 to 12 hours, longer the better. Let that just marinate, and so I'll see you tomorrow, early evening, and we'll tray this up in our dehydrator. I'll see you then. That was pretty simple, wasn't it? Okay, that has been in the fridge for 24 hours. Marinating away. In the meantime, I dug out my dehydrator and gave it a good scrub. It had been sitting there for years unused. So we are ready to tray this up. Oh yeah. So what I'm going to do, scrape off the major excess of this. We're going to lay it out in our trays flat, nice and flat. No overlapping pieces. You don't want anything to overlap. So it all dries nice and evenly. Alright, there's one tray. I'll finish traying this up and I'll be right back. Alright. I ended up using 1, 2, 3, 4 trays. Kind of did it like that, can you see? What we're going to do is I'm going to put this on my temperature of 160 degrees. Which is for meat. You want to do it about that temperature. We're going to guess that it's going to be about 8 hours or so, but about 3 or 4 hours in, I'll come in and I'll change the order of these trays, just to move them around, swap them all around, and yeah, basically you'll see me in about 8 hours, and I get to smell these cooking up for 8 hours. I'll see you when they're ready to go, or maybe when I do a rotation. That'd be a better thing. I'll come back when we rotate them. I'll see you then. Okay, let me turn this off. It has been about 5 hours. I came in here to turn these. Just had a peek real quick. And these are done already. If I pick these up right now, they're leathery, but when you bend them, they don't break, but they crack. If that makes a sense, you get a break where you creased it, but they're not totally dry where they crunch, which that would be too dry for pleasure. It'd be ideal for long-term storage. But what I notice, just give me a piece of paper towel here. There's a lot of oil from the fat that has come to the surface on this meat. So I'm going to pat those dry as we take it from the tray. Just get rid of as much oil as I can on that. Oh man, it smells good. Alright, got that all patted dry. Let's see how much we ended up with. Alright, let's see. Alright, so we started out with a 2.5 pound roast. We trimmed the fat off, sliced it, and dehydrated it. And we ended up with 17.1 ounces, which is 1.06 pounds. So 17.1 ounces. And how does that compare to the $16 Sweet Baby Ray's from the store? You know, we got a whole pound here, and we only got 10 ounces of the other. Now this is fresh. We made it. We know what we put in it, and no preservatives or anything like that. So what do you think about that? I'm happy with that. Now this is still warm, and like I said, we made this for eating, not for long-term storage. And you can see that it tears nicely. No pink on the inside. I'm super happy with that. Now what I'm going to do is, in my next freeze dryer run, I am going to put a piece of this in with the next run, just to see how it comes out freeze dried, to get it to that little bit extra of that for drying that this could take, to make that suitable for long-term storage with the Mylar bag and O2 absorber. As this sits, I'm going to bag this up, and that would probably just keep, you know, for the books, you know, the books all say a week or two, you know, probably a little bit longer than that, because I'm going to put it in the fridge. That way I got something to snack on. It didn't cost me an arm and a leg. It just an arm to make. With the price of beef these days. I'm not going to zip those shut until it totally cools down. And then we'll pop them in the fridge. Yeah, so there you are. I'm happy with this. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll come back and we'll cut in the freeze-dried one here at the end, just to let you see what it comes out like after we run it through the freeze dryer. So I'll see you then. Okay, here it goes. As promised, I'm back with my freeze-dried beef jerky. Now, before we get into looking at this and checking it out, I need to state the obvious, but you never know on the internet. You obviously would not put raw hamburger or raw meat that has been marinated in your freeze dryer and freeze dry it, because when you got done freeze drying, you would have raw meat that's freeze dried. You have to cook it first in some way, and we dehydrated it, so you don't want to use raw meat to make this jerky. All right, now I noticed it's very hard, and boy, I did enjoy that fresh. It was delicious. But let's see what the texture is like on this dehydrated, freeze-dried. The flavor is good. It's a lot more work to chew this, but you know what? It very quickly rehydrates in your mouth to a little more tender. Not as good as the fresh, but I think in an emergency situation, this would be a great way to get some protein. Flavor's spot on. You see it breaks very easy. I think with a good O2 absorber stored in Mylar, that this would be a good product to put away for long-term storage if you're in the mind of emergency situations. If you really enjoy beef jerky and just want to enjoy it, then I wouldn't bother doing this. I would do it fresh and just keep it in the fridge. But if you want to put some beef away, some protein away for 10 to 20 years, I think you get away with a good O2 absorber in a Mylar bag and stored in a environment, temperature controlled environment. Because this is pretty good. Crunchy at first, but as you chew it, it semi-rehydrates. So, we did the experiment. I'll leave it up to you if you want to try it or not. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you try this recipe for just your plain beef jerky, because that is absolutely gorgeous. And then if you're in the mood to put some away for long-term storage, try freeze drying it. I'll see you next time.